you to its live version of Random Thoughts on the Winnipeg Jets with host Harley Friesen and WinnipegHockeyTalk.com's owner and writer, Mitch Kasprick.
Welcome back to Winnipeg Hockey Talk. Another week in the books for the Jets, and the picture is starting to come into focus with only a handful of games left in the season. The team has shown flashes of improvement in some areas, but there's still a few habits and lineup questions that keep popping up. As always, there is plenty to unpack this week, so let's get started with thought number one.
Right on.
The Winnipeg Jets went 2-2-0 this past week and have earned points in 8 of their games since the Olympic break. Their record is still at the bogus Count Chocula 500 at 28-28-10, 5 points out of the playoffs with 16 games remaining in the regular season, and are still kicking at that cat.
Yeah.
They are 5-2-0 on their 8-game homestand.
Well, they avoided disaster with that terrific weekend, beating Colorado. Who figured that? And then back-to-back, Eric Comrie has another great game, and they salvaged the week. So remember, technically, when I said they need 12 points on this homestand? Mm-hmm. Well, if they beat Nashville tomorrow night, that'll give them the 12 points, and that will keep them still in the hunt. They technically are in the hunt. I guess you have to think back to when when they were 11 points behind. Now they're 5, so they have made up some ground during the homestand and since the Olympic break. So that's the good news. The bad news is they've had nights where the out-of-town scoreboard was good for them, but then they lost. And then the last couple of nights, they were, as of the end of the game yesterday, they were actually at 4 points behind, but then Seattle won last night, so that put them to 5. They're still hanging in, but it's getting tough now because they're almost blown through that homestand. Mm-hmm. Now they've got 16 games left, 6 at home, 10 on the road.
Oh, wow.
So it's not looking good.
Yeah.
But then again, with this team, you never know what they'll do to surprise you, so yeah.
Well, it's nice that Comrie was kind of stepping up.
Well, we'll get into him a little more. It's been surprising. His numbers are actually pretty darn good lately. So, we'll.
All right.
Okay, yeah.
That leads us into thought 2. It figures that Gus Nyquist would start playing inspired hockey now. The old case of too little too late. Where was this all season?
No, we weren't expecting a miracle from him. I'm just thinking when we signed him, I wasn't happy about it, and I said that before the season even started. But here's the thing. If we just got, because knowing what we know now, which has been not good, if we would have got something even remotely resembling his kind of basically NHL average performance, his numbers would be way better than they are now. But I'm going to tell you something, the last 3-4 games, and even that game when we lost to Anaheim, where they outskated us, that 35-year-old, he showed some speed and made some good hockey plays. I've been very impressed with his play the last 4 games. Not a lot to show for it, to be honest. But at least they're spending time in the other team's end and creating some chances. So I kind of figured that down the stretch here now, maybe he might be popping in some points. But, where was this all year?
Yeah. Well, didn't you say Rosén was from Sweden? And, well,
Yeah.
Of course, Salomonsson is a Swede.
Yeah.
Maybe he wanted to set an example for his younger teammates.
Take him under his wing, and Papa will show you how to play some good hockey.
Yes,
well,
exactly.
That could be. Maybe the young guys have motivated him.
Yeah.
Because he's totally. I mean, he's been much different since Rosén's been here, and Salomonsson's been kind of in and out. But having 2 fellow Swedes in the dressing room might have gave him that little nudge he needed. That's a good analysis by you. But. Yeah, we're going to need everybody. Let's just say that going forward.
That's for sure. Yeah. Thought 3. The first thing that makes you go, I started wondering about this tweet and why lately the Jets have looked a little more like last year's team. And I believe it's because the roster is much faster after adding Rosén, Lambert, Fleury, and Bryson. Now they are far from perfect, even though they are faster. But when their speed matches last year's attention to detail more consistently, they will definitely win more hockey games. Consistency, adaptability, and understanding your role doesn't take any special skill, just mental toughness. A lot of times hockey is just a battle of wills.
Absolutely. It's this is the tweet in question. Somebody called the RCMP. The 25-26 Winnipeg Jets are missing and were replaced by the President's Trophy team from last year. Hellebuck was Hart Trophy worthy today. Well done, Jets. Well, yeah, that's... and I started laughing and I go, so what is the difference? And if you look at the trade deadline, Stanley's out, Schen's out, Pearson's out, and so they bring in Rosine, they bring in Lambert, and then Hayden Fleury comes back from being injured a couple games before that, and the new kid, Bryson, the defenseman, the Smurf, that's a lot different speed than what they had in the lineup previous. So you can see it in the games. They just look faster. They look more like last year's team, and last year's team was about speed, and the system they played probably worked because of the speed. So maybe guys aren't late getting to their assignments and blah, blah, blah. But yeah, speed kills, eh? And Jets, there's no doubt the Jets are faster. That's for sure. So, yeah. I'm going to put this back to... Yep.
I'm quite hard on Dylan DeMello, so I'm going to say something positive about his game. For a defenseman, his size... He is very strong, he hits hard, and there's never any questioning about his compete level. All right. Where's Mitch, and what have you done with him?
Well, you know what? I know I crap on him a lot, but I still watch the game like a scout and I analyze. And there's certain portions of his game that are so good. Like, he's not a big guy, but he's ripped. He's strong for his size, and he hits hard. At times, he gets a little overwhelmed in front of the net, but he tries to be physical. But in the corners and off the rush, when he gets guys the right angles, he hits them, and he hits them hard. Where he hurts this team is his overall skating and team speed. He's slow to get back in the zone. Like when guys dump and chase, they're going full speed because they've already dumped and they got momentum, and he turns around. He gets beat to the puck an awful lot. So he's slow there. He's just a slow skater. I mean, he's older now. He's been around for a while. When the game gets into his realm, where it gets tightened in the corners, then that's where he excels. So it's too much of one, which is the speed. Like, I don't know that he should be playing against guys like McDavid and Celebrini, and on a really, really good team, he wouldn't be. I would like to see him next year on the third pairing and let him break in whoever is going to be on the left side. We don't know who it's going to be. Could be, who knows? I'm not even going to guess. But let's just say in the top six now. I mean, you're going to have Josh, and maybe you put Salamonson up there. He's a right-handed shot, and he's getting his feet wet, and why not? And on the second pairing, you're going to have Steady Sandberg. And, you know, we got Pionk signed for 3 or 4 more years, and as much as pisses me off sometimes, he's still not bad, and him and Sammy work good together, and he's a right-hand shot, so we'll live with him, and that gives us... it gives us that right-left shot that I talk about. Talk about it's not that important, but for whatever reason, Arneal likes it, so that gives the top two pair their right shot, and their pairings are set. And on the third pair, you put DeMello back there, and he doesn't have to take all the tough assignments with all the studs that can just fly out there. But nowadays, everybody can fly. It's not going to cure all evils, but at least it'll get him playing against. In theory, the third pairing defenseman should get a little bit weaker competition, but you never know. But since these guys are under contract and we're going to be here, and the Jets are so faithful to these guys, let's make the best out of the mix and just see what happens.
Yeah, take what you can get.
Well, until somebody comes in and really pushes these guys out, coaches love veterans, or this team does anyway. They just. I don't know what it is. They just don't trust their prospects. You know what that tells me? That maybe they got the wrong guy in Manitoba. Maybe Morrison's not the guy to develop these guys. Because when you bring these guys up, you should have confidence they can play. If that's the case, either you're doing a couple things wrong. Are you drafting the wrong guys and overvaluing them? Or are you not developing them properly? So I have a theory on that, but I'm not going to share it now. I'll save that for the summer when I need content.
Well, it's nice to hear some nice words for DeMello.
Yeah, I figured I'd give him a little bit of appreciation. You know what? When you have guys that battle and they're warriors, it's tough to be down on him all the time. Like he does a lot of dumb shit, but you know what? This game is hard. The league is hard, and there's great players. And I'm pretty sure that he doesn't go to Scott Arniel and say, you know what? I'm the best right-handed defenseman on this team, and I should be playing with Josh, and I should be taking all the tough assignments.
Yeah.
That's what the coach does. They trust him with the tougher assignments. So it's like a lot of times I crap on guys, but it's not their fault that they're miscast or being misused. And I think at this stage of his career, like lighten his load a little bit. He's been carrying the mail a long time on that pairing. Like he's the conscience of the pairing, which allows Josh to freewheel and skate a little more. But DeMello's lost his foot speed, and he was never the fastest guy to start with. And that's what happens with veteran players, especially if they weren't great skaters. They slow down. I've seen it for 50 years watching hockey, and it's not fun to watch on the forwards, and it's hard to watch if you're a defenseman because it's obvious when guys start flying by.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
I'm gonna back off on him a little bit.
For now.
For now, that's probably right.
On to thought 5. We have a pet peeve. The Jets forwards and sometimes their defensemen jump the gun and blow the zone before the puck is out, and they do it far too often for my liking.
Oh, it drives me crazy.
Yeah.
I know you want to, in today's game, it's all about speed, and coaches want their defensemen to, join the play, and forwards are always hoping the puck gets out because forwards are forwards. They're greedy. Let's face it, they're greedy. They want that break and they want that extra step on a guy. And that, to me, has always been a fault with certain players on this team. And it's a bad look when it doesn't work. It's even worse for defensemen. There was a couple times in the St. Louis game yesterday, I'm going, God, guys, you're on a back-to-back. They're skating you into the ice. Our team did a pretty good job of keeping him to the outside for the first 2 periods, but in the second, third, towards the end of the second, and then the third, we got a little sloppy and a lot of giving up a lot of chances, and we don't need to give up extra ones with bad decisions. And a couple times that happened, and it's a pet peeve. I figure, you got to at least the defenseman make sure the puck is out. A lot of the game's based on anticipation. You figure that puck should get out and you think it's going to get out, but something weird happens. And I've seen this a million times where the linesman skate gets in the way or the referee gets in the way, or the puck is past the player coming in and it takes his stick. Or there's all, you know what? It's like that commercial on TV where anything can happen. And the gambling commercial. It's true. Anything can happen. So it's safety first, and especially when you're winning. When you're losing, yes, you guys cheat for offense, right? And I can understand that. But when you're winning, man, just be a little safer, use your head a little more, and stop making it my pet peeve, because it really is.
On to thought 6. It's only been 4 or 5 games from new acquisition Jacob Bryson, but I have seen enough to say I have no interest in seeing the Jets offering him a contract. He is a nice skater who handles the puck pretty well, but gets eaten alive without it. Being a smurf, he gets absolutely swallowed up in front of the net and along the boards. We don't need any more shrubs. Or scrubs. Am I right, lady?
Yeah, shrubs or scrubs, yeah.
I would rather see Isaac Phillips playing with the big club now if they're auditioning defensemen for next year.
Oh, we just happen to have a picture of the young lad. This was yesterday afternoon in Calgary. He got into a little tilt here, and he's a big guy. And one of the guys that commented on one of my shorts, he said that I was talking about Heinola, and he says, I like Phillips. I think he's past him on the depth chart. And right now, based on the Jets' needs, we need a couple trees back there, and this guy's solid.
Yeah.
And we just got him this year from Chicago. Do you remember when the trade happened?
Yeah.
And he played a couple of games, and he looks okay. And here's the funny thing. With Heinola being up with the Jets and with Salamonson being up with the Jets, by default, he's actually the leading scoring defenseman on the Moose.
Nice.
Now, the points aren't great, 23 or 24 points, but he was never playing in all the offensive situations, and he is a little bit now, but I liked him. I liked what I saw, and I immediately went, he's better than Luke Shen. He just needs some seasoning.
Yeah.
This is the guy I want to see get a legitimate shot next year, but once again, is he a righty or a lefty? I can't remember. But he's a guy that will be definitely auditioning on the left side.
Looks like he's about to throw with a right. So
yeah, but you can't tell in fighting, and it depends where the guy grabs him. But no, I like Isaac. Nice pickup. It was one of those nondescript, meaningless, not well publicized, no big ballyhoo trades that looks like it's gonna, work out. And the thing that gets me is I watch Chicago play a ton, and I'm going like, their blue lane isn't good enough to let this guy go. So what are they thinking? But hey, we'll take it. We'll take it.
Yeah. We're taking a look at the Manitoba Moose in Thought 7. They went 2-2-0-0 this past week and are holding steady at 28-21-5-1 after a 4-2 win in Calgary Sunday afternoon. Thomas Milic made a career high 44 stops in the Moose net. Wow, that's a busy game.
Well, I got some numbers here. I'm just going to read these off.
Yeah, why
and
not? You're a numbers guy.
My Thomas Milic, well, y'all know, well, you know what I think about him. Okay, so in his last 4 games, he's gone 3-1. Okay. Listen to this save percentage, 9-6-1, and that's including a loss. I'll explain in a minute. Goals against average was 1.26, which is outstanding. Like I said, the first 2 games, in that stat, they had 4 games on the road, 2 in Vancouver against Abbotsford and 2 in Calgary against the Hitmen. He had a shutout in the second game in Vancouver. They got their asses kicked in the first game, so he shuts them out in the second game. And then the first game of the Calgary series, he shuts them out there. So he goes back to back. Okay.
All right.
Then they lose, and then yesterday afternoon, he stands on his head. I think it was a 4-2 win. So pretty solid. You get those type of numbers on the road. And boy, he's he's my fave. Like when I'm in that situation where I'm bad-mouthing Comrie, I'll say Milic is the guy, but I'm going to be kind to Coms for a bit. He's got his own numbers we'll talk about. Oh, well, you know what? I'll wait till later. But I got some numbers on Comrie too. They're quite flattering for him.
All right. That's nice to hear.
Yeah.
All right, on to Thought 8 then. We have
You want to go to the stats?
Sure.
Is that what? Were the stats on 7? What is number 7?
No. Number 7, we're talking about the Moose.
What's 8?
8, you have a question for Scott Arneal.
Okay, go ahead.
Thought 8, question for Scott Arneal. Your team's power play has dropped quite a bit statistically week after week, and I wonder why you haven't changed the positioning or personnel to give it a different look.
Take a look at the numbers there. Power plays 23rd at 17. 17 sucks. You know what the Oilers are? Around 30. Last year, the Jets were in the mid-20s, and they were like 1 or 2 in the league, and that's good. That's like a power play, a couple times a week, and those power play goals are huge in a game. There can be the difference. It can be the difference in winning and losing in these tight games they play down the stretch, right? It can be a momentum changer. And they're sitting at 23rd, which is brutal. And it's like the whole, it's still the same guys, the same format, the same strategy. And I didn't have time today, but I wanted to go look it up. But I know for a fact that, and this is funny, one of your best goal scorers is Kyle Connor, and he plays at the right side on the half wall. And he should be eating up that spot. I don't think he's the right guy for the one-timer there, because his slap shot, he uses that sort of half flick wrister, and if he does score, it's because it goes over the shoulder in that top corner on the short side. His shot doesn't go through guys like Patrick Laine's did when he was on the half board on the other side on his off wing. He's on the off wing, which is perfect, but and my answer is I don't have an answer because I don't know that we have a guy that can really bang the left-handed one-timer on that side. But Arniel hasn't tried anything. And I think Marty Johnson's the power play coach. I think maybe I can't remember. Anyway, no, it's not. It's the other guy. But it's a moot point. I mean, the coach makes the decision. Try a different format. Try changing it up. Maybe put Casey down in the bumper spot. Just do something. Put him in the slot with that quick release. Man, that'd be nice. But yeah, it's not working. And the thing is, I think what pisses me off is just keep on doing the same thing. Try something different, man. It's just not working. So, yeah, that was my question. Do you ever think about changing it? I'm sure he does. And I'm sure they work on it in practice, and it's the same thing. But you know what? Yeah, it might work in practice because the guys know, the opposing guys on your team know what the plays are, right? Gosh. So of course it works in practice. Looks
much
it looked really good in practice. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, hopefully we see some switching up there.
Yeah.
Thought 9. The second thing that makes you go, Morgan Barron, Cole Koepke, and Brad Lambert are definitely the Jets' speediest line, and I wonder if it's time to give them a little bump up in ice time, and if not, the whole line. How about flip-flopping Barron and Adam Lowry?
Wow, geez, that makes too much sense, Harley.
Yeah,
well, it does. You got Morgan Barron. Put it this way: the narrative has always been in this city that we all like Lowry. Let's get that straight. I've defended him. I've been pissed off at him. He is the captain. He's the heart and soul of the bottom 6. Let's just say that, okay? But the narrative has always been this team will truly be a championship team when Adam Lowry is your 4th line center. Right now, he's our 2nd line center. Adam is he's kind of where offense goes to die. And you got him playing with Perfetti and not Iafallo, Perfetti and my man, number 13. I forget his name already. Oh my God, that's brutal. Because I hate being on Gabe Vilardi. And that's because, you know why I forgot? Because last game I didn't see him because he never gets the puck. Gabe's not a guy that drives play. He's a guy that needs to get the puck, and then when he gets in tight space, he's just like a magician. He's got to have the best hands, one of the best sets of hands in the league. But he's been a non-factor, and Perfetti hasn't been too bad. But Adam Lowry is not a distributor or a driver. He's a good guy to forecheck, but he's not a guy that's going to create a lot of offense. And I'd like to see Morgan Barron up there and add some speed to that line. It'd be interesting, Cole Koepke is another guy I said too. If you might remember this quote I had very early in the year, he's got NHL speed. He's got speed to bring.
AHL hands.
Yeah, he's got AHL hands. And then you got Brad Lambert on the other side, who's just coming into his own. He's got a ton of speed. He's got good hockey sense. He made a terrific, that whole line made a terrific breakout off the rush and set up Hayden Fleury for his first of the year. And just goes to show you there, you give Lambert a chance to, get some ice time. I don't know if putting him on the 4th line is giving him a chance, but at least if they get a decent amount of ice time. I just, the Jets now are different than the old Winnipeg Jets. We'd bring guys up, put him on the 4th line and give him 2 minutes of ice time and then send him back down to the minors and wonder why he didn't do anything. At least they're getting some solid ice time here. And I don't understand why Brad Lambert doesn't have more points in the AHL this year. I watch him at the NHL level, and he's got NHL speed also, and he's got NHL skills. So it's a matter of just getting him acclimated and getting him more ice time, kind of like what Montreal did with Cole Caulfield. They weren't playing him very much, and the fans were pissed off. Montreal Twitter was just ablaze of supporting Caulfield, and now he's a 40 goal scorer there the next year. So could be the same for Brad. Maybe Brad just doesn't mesh with any of the guys in the minors, and that happens too. There's a lot of times in every sport where you'll see all of a sudden the guy gets called up to the big leagues and he starts producing better than the minors, and everybody's going like, WTF? You know, it happens. So yeah, but Morgan Barron has. It's time to move him up. I don't think he's a fourth line center anymore. He makes good hockey play. He's got great speed, and it was a great trade to get him out of the Rangers.
All right, thought 10. I hope you guys have your pipes ready, because we're looking at the put that in your pipe and smoke it file.
Boy, oh boy, my favorite.
I'm not sure if Tyrell Bauer is a potential NHL defenseman or not, but one thing I do know is that he is tough and will throw down with anybody. Can the Jets afford to carry a guy on the roster just because he can fight? The only way to find out is to play him. He would give this team some much-needed toughness, especially on the road in some tough barns like Minnie, Dallas, and St. Louis. I know fighting is a hot-button subject, but it's important whether you like it or not. All you have to do is ask the players in the dressing room, and to a man, they'd all say yes. And that's coming from the guys that matter, not you or me. So put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Yeah, it's always controversial when you talk about fighting in hockey, and I'm still old school. I believe it's a part of the game in the sense that, well, I'll give you an example. The Winnipeg Jets always had a little more swagger when Big Buff was in the lineup.
Oh,
right?
yeah. He got those hands going.
Yeah, well, the thing is, he was a great hockey player.
Yeah.
He played a lot, he gets a lot of ice time.
True.
So you don't worry about him being a detriment if he fights. You don't want him to fight. But when he was out there, everybody played a little bit taller. And it was funny. There's a story that Mark Scheifele tells when he was in his first or second year, and Buff just said to him, "You go out there and you play, you do whatever you want. You don't worry about anything. I got you." And whether you're a rookie or not, that's what a star player needs to hear, even in today's hockey, to know that, like, well, you saw what happened to Austin Matthews. Ranko Gudis takes out his knee.
Yeah.
He's gone for the season. He gets 5 games. And, of course, the coach was pissed off because there was no immediate reaction. A lot of guys didn't even know what happened. And, I mean, anybody else or any other game, Gudis probably gets jumped by 4 guys. And back in the old days, the bench is clear. Was probably a case where somebody had to answer the bell and not let him get away with that. I mean, it really doesn't accomplish much. It just shows you're standing up for your teammate. And today there's hardly real good fights. They get into a scrum and they hug each other. There's a lot of guys there's not a lot of fighting in hockey, and most players don't fight, right? You get into those scrums and they wash their faces and all that crap. Yeah. I'm sure you've even been in a few of those in your days, because in your sport you couldn't even fight, but you had to be pissed off sometimes.
Oh yeah.
But like I said, it's a hot button subject, and with Bauer, he would only be here for one reason, unless his game develops enough. That's why I like Phillips, because I think he can play and fight. But I'll tell you right now, Tyrell Bauer is just a beauty. He is just a beauty. He would become an instant. Like, I'm smiling. Look at me. I'm already giddy.
Yeah, you have a big smile on your
He
face.
would be an absolute fan favorite. And I'll guarantee you, if he ever stayed up, you would see the next game 2,000 Bauer sweaters in the stands with Jet sweaters. He fights a lot, and when he played junior, he played with Lambert, and he played with Milich. They all played together in Seattle, and he also played with Matt Rempe, who is 6'9" and the New York Rangers big tough guy. He fights like every 2 or 3 games. I'm sure him and Bauer had a couple of tilts in practice just to keep in shape. But in today's hockey, coaches want to play 4 lines, and you want 3 pairs of defensemen, and you can't have a weak link back there. You got to at least be able to play. And we'll never know if Bauer can play at the next level unless he gets some time here. And I know for a fact, I think I read that before this year ends, they're going to call him up. Well, I'd rather see him, call him up now while it's kind of like grind time. You know what? They're going on the road. Yeah. The Jets have just come off a stretch where they play all these games at home, and games at home are always easier. They're not as tough. There wasn't a lot of tough teams that came into our building. But when you head on the road, when teams know you're not team tough, they tend to take liberties with you. And I'm afraid for some of our good players that they start getting some cheap shit thrown at them. And like I said before, you think Adam Lowry's going to fight everybody in the world? Outside of Lowry, I don't even know if there's anybody else who's capable of dropping the gloves and winning a fight on that team. And it scares me.
Yeah.
And I'm not that, Terrell Bauer's going to be that guy that's going to take on the rest of the league. Maybe next year you got Phillips and Bauer. Who knows? But the way the Jets are built right now, they're not built for playoffs. They're not built to be tough. And that's why I don't see them making the playoffs. I think they're going to go out on the road, and I think they're going to get blasted. Because they got a lot of young guys. You got Rosine, you got Lambert. These young guys don't know what it's like to play in some bad buildings. I mean, I think on this next road trip, let's just pick up the calendar here for a second. I'm not sure which buildings they go into. Let's see. Oh, there's the schedule with the L's in that. Those two L's really hurt, but
More W's than L's, though.
yeah. Oh no, it's been a good
here,
run.
at least.
See, Nashville, we're playing them at home. They got some guys that are pretty tough. Boston, I don't know how tough they are anymore. Pittsburgh, got the Rangers. Then we come back. Oh boy! Then we come back home for Vegas and Colorado, and then right back on the road to Colorado and Chicago. We got Colorado back to back.
Yeah.
And I figured the Jets got to go about 12-4, 13-3 in the last 16 games. Not happening. Not happening. So it's going to be a tough go, and yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But like I said, yeah, you can't. It's not like it was hockey in the old days because fourth lines didn't play that much. So what coaches would do is they would take that tough defenseman, like we'll say Bauer, and they throw him on the left wing on the fourth line. It doesn't hurt you as much there because they weren't getting that much ice time, but he's on the bench and he's there. But ideally, you want a tough guy that can play. And the last guy we had like that was a guy named Dustin Bufflin.
Yes, good old Buff.
Yeah. So yeah.
Well, we took a look already at the special teams and
Yeah.
goaltending
Yeah,
statistics.
I'll just put them up there quickly again. I do want to point something else out though because
All right, let's do that then.
yeah, let's go here. See, Eric Comrie's now his save percentage still sucks, but let's just
Hey,
you know
I
what's
thought you
funny?
were being nice on him.
We were. I'm gonna go back now to that stretch when Helly was hurt. Okay,
Oh God.
he was brutal. He had a couple
was-
good games, but he was
that was a
awful.
sight first,
Now
yeah.
I'm looking back when we're kind of struggling for a few points. We had that streak was 11, 12 games we didn't win, and he was awful at a whole bunch of them. Let's just say for shits and giggles that he wins 3 of those games. There was 3 or 4 of those games that the Jets should have won, and it
Yeah.
was his fault, blatantly his fault, right?
Yeah.
And if we had those 6 points, we're in the playoffs right now, and then we're going to be fighting the rest of the year to stay there. But
Yeah.
we're trying to catch up. But here's his numbers. Now listen to this. In his last 5 starts, okay, 946 save percentage, which is really good. And goals against, 1.39 with 5 wins, no losses. That's pretty darn good.
Woohoo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Way to go, Combs. But yeah, so I'm going to give him his due. And that's what you want from your backup.
Yeah.
You know, they play him in maybe soft spots, but playing St. Louis on a back-to-back isn't a soft spot. St. Louis is still fighting too. And so, yeah, he's done a good job. It's just too bad. I'm not going to say it's too little too late, but it's too little too late. But he has kept them in the hunt. So outside of when he was taking over for Helly, where he kind of crapped the bed, he's done his job since the Olympics and back, and a little bit before that. So good for him. He's not my favorite, but I got to give him some credit. He's done a good job. So
Yeah.
back to the show. What's happening now?
Well, I don't know if you can hear that or not, but I think we got a case of the good, the
Yeah.
bad, and probably some ugly.
Somebody's going to be pissed off at me when they hear these, but yeah, I don't care. You know, it's my show. If I love Shifley, I love him. I'm going to give you a spoiler alert.
Let's start with the good, shall we? Mark Scheifele continues to be the best skater on the ice most nights.
Yes, just blunt, right to the point.
Yep.
He is such a terrific passer, and the confidence he's playing with, and he's gonna we're gonna waste another season of brilliance from him. Just the way he passes the puck and sees the ice and sets up Kyle Connor is just amazing. And I'm as long as I see it, I'm going to point it out because he's one of my guys. I've always had the soft spot for Scheif because, like I said, he's the first real Jets 2.0 to be drafted, and he's come a long way since his Bambi days, and he's such a good player. Smart and such a good player. And he doesn't swear. He says frick. It's embarrassing if you're on the ice. Everybody's swearing the same bad words, and he says frick.
Fudge.
Yeah, exactly. That's Scheif. It's kind of
like
hard to
me
get
around
you,
Mom.
like when he's pissed off and you go, guys, frick, like that kind of doesn't carry any impact. So yeah,
Not really.
But he's a guy that does beak off though to the referees and to other players. I mean, he'll trash talk, but it's not very trashy. It's more like
What do the kids call that? Chirping?
Yeah,
That's
his
what they
chirping
called
isn't
it
even
in
chirping.
my-
It's like more like little tweets.
Oh, God.
Beep, 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 beep. Anyway,
Oh, man.
sorry, Scheif.
On to the bad. The Jets defensemen backing in on their own goalies happens far too often. Jeez, this is why y'all need a crease.
Well, I'm not even
penalty.
talking about that. I'm
Like-
talking about, man, when they come through center ice, they back in, and part of that is it's not them just backing in. It's because the wingers aren't back. But I like when my defensemen start standing up well before the blue line, and then
Yes.
the wingers are coming back. But they back in, and it's not even a good offensive play by the other team. And before you know it, they're in the high slot. And they're rattling wristers off the crossbar or in the
Yep.
top corner.
If you're not pushing them out.
Oh, no, you gotta-
You
I-
give them way too much room to
Oh,
make
yeah,
the
you
play
can't-
move around you.
I can't stand that when they back, and I'm going, well,
Yeah.
what was the point? I'd rather see like I come from that thought or that theory that, and it applies to the penalty kill too, and it applies to anything on defense. Pressure them because like they treat every player in the league like it's Scheif or McDavid. Everybody in the league doesn't handle the puck like that. You put pressure on most of these guys, they'll cough it up.
Yeah.
And we go too soft. On the penalty kill, we do the same thing. As soon as they get it, we sag.
Yeah.
Why are you sagging? Tack the guy.
Push out.
All about everything in hockey today is about pressure. You know what the stuff they do to us on our power play? Do to them.
Yeah.
That's bad coaching in my estimation. And I remember it was a comment that Andrew Kopp made before he got traded when he was still on the Jets, and he said something about they changed their penalty kill strategy a little bit, and they did go to a bit of a pressure. He goes, "Oh, great, we just don't have to stand there anymore," like
who would've
sarcastic.
thought?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no kidding, eh? But and we're back to that same style. They just sag, and I don't get it. I've never understood it. But whatever. I'm not the coach.
I'm with you. I don't understand that.
Yeah.
Well, if that wasn't the ugly, we're on to the ugly.
Okay.
The Jets must give up the most goals in the league on tip-ins. Most of the time, they may have marked their man, but they don't tie up their sticks.
That's what happens when you have a smaller guy working on a bigger guy. They're working so hard just to try to move him. And, people, once again, they'll go, "Oh, well, the Avalanche won it with small defensemen." Yeah, well, fuck, man. If I had Cale Makar and McKinnon and Rantanen, yeah, I'd be winning cups too, but we don't. And, like I said, too many shrubs, not enough trees. We need to, you gotta be able to be strong enough to move a guy or, keep him shielded, and you got to be able to tie up his stick. I've seen many times where our defenseman has done a pretty good job of marking the guy, and the guy has his stick loose, he just ticks it. And, nowadays, that's the only way you beat Hellebuck. You don't beat him with a shot. And in that Ranger game, I think, what was the final score? 5-3. The fifth goal was into an empty net, and 4 of the goals were tip-ins. And you could see the game plan as clear as day, and we didn't adapt to it, and it happens. But I've been saying that for years. Teams there's a lot of teams that they they don't play high event hockey, but what they do is they play everything at the net hockey. Puck is going to the net. Players are always going to the net. They're looking for garbage. They're crowding the crease. They're tipping things in, making it hard on the goalie. And that's one of the things. Hellebuck has such a hard time with guys in his crease and tip-ins. And our team, we avoid the crease like it's plutonium or something. It's brutal. Our guys like to play on the perimeter, and like granted, we score some beautiful goals, but sometimes you got to get some uggos.
Yep.
They all count the same, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, with that, we're on to Thought 14 with our Jets tidbits.
I love tidbits.
Tidbits and Timbits.
Timbits, yeah. You think a place we'll say Tim Hortons, if I went to the one down, you probably got to go to corporate, but do you think they would support a small little YouTube channel like this?
Sponsor us.
Yeah, we'll talk about tidbits. All I got to do is give you some tidbits. You don't have to give me money.
When we were playing Ringette younger, if you went and flipped up your jersey at a Tim Hortons, it had said something and you were able to get free Timbits, or it was some sort of deal like that where at a certain age you were still allowed to go and ask for free stuff
I'm
like
still
that.
A kid at heart, so I want Timbits.
They'll allow it.
Actually, I had
you
some
ask
Timbits
real
this week.
nice.
Phyllis went and got coffee and Timbits for me.
Nice.
I was so happy. She went to the dentist or doctor or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, Timbits are good. So yeah, let's take a run at them.
On to the first. Isaac Rosine scored his first goal as a Winnipeg Jet on Thursday versus the New York Rangers.
Yep.
Congrats.
Nice. There's a little tip in. It was a deflection, actually. I want to see him score a goal off the rush or a little passing play and snapping a wrister in there. But because tipping goals to me is like, I don't know. I mean, I like them. They're good.
Yeah.
But with the skill guy, I want to see his skill come through first. That's an Adam Lowry type of goal. Or Dubois. Wow. Dubois is wicked at that. And you know who else is good? It was Gabe Velarde. He's very good at that. He's got great hand-eye coordination. But next.
Awesome. Josh Morrissey sets a new Jets 2.0 record for most games played by a defenseman, which was 719.
Yeah, and counting. It was Toby Enstrom had the record at 719.
Oh, I see.
What was it? 719?
719.
Yeah. Actually, that record was set the same day as he broke the scoring record, but it got kind of overlooked.
Oh.
Yeah.
Two records in a day. Or
Yeah.
in a short amount of time at
Yeah,
least.
he became the Jets' all-time leading scoring defenseman, passing Buff. And also, I think that same night, he became the leader in total games played, passing Toby.
Nice.
Yeah, good for him. That shows durability.
Yeah, it sure does.
I always get into these arguments with guys. Well, geez, if he would have played as many games as Gretzky, and I'll go, part of being a superstar and part of setting records is being healthy and being there every night. It's not my fault that Mario had cancer and then had bad knees and a bad back, and other guys had this and that. I'm not one of those. In that case, I'm not one of those. I always say, well, if ifs and buts were candies and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas. Being very disrespectful, but I don't buy that. Longevity and being there, being an Ironman is a big thing in sports, and especially in hockey, where it's not hard to get hurt. There's so many things.
Yeah,
you got
true.
pucks flying, elbows flying, guys slashing you.
Half of them don't even have teeth, so
Yeah. Oh.
tells you much.
You could have seen it in the
How
60s
much
and the
can be done.
70s.
Oh, I know.
They didn't wear helmets.
Goalies weren't wearing helmets.
No.
What were we thinking?
Well, this guys didn't shoot as hard, but still, deflection off the
Jeez.
face. Oh, he takes one in the chin.
It's a death wish just to play a game.
Yeah, no kidding.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Dylan DeMello played in his 700th NHL game on Thursday night. Jeez, spit it out.
Yeah, that was against the Rangers. We lost 5-3. I believe the score was 3-3, and he toe-picked at center ice, wiped out, and gave up the goal because of that. And on his momentous night, he shit the bed and cost us the game.
Awesome.
No, he didn't cost us. Well, I mean, he cost us that goal when we still could have won. But I always, you can never, I'm of that that theory too. Like, you really can never blame a loss in a game on one singular play. But that one stood out like a sore thumb, and it turned into a goal immediately. Why couldn't he have just toe-picked, fell, and the guy takes the shot, and Harley makes a great save, and then it's all forgotten, right? But when the puck goes in the net, the first thing you do is you go.
Yeah. For sure, pointing the fingers. For
Yeah,
sure.
nice 700th game. Nice milestone. Yes. Yeah. Anyway, too bad.
Yeah.
So sad.
Mark Scheifele has reached 80 points for the second consecutive season.
Once again,
Nice.
he's going to probably go on to set his points record. Once again, like I said, wasting a great season.
Yeah.
I mean, he traded all for a playoff spot or a couple rounds, but he's doing his share. Let's just say that he's a pretty good leader and a good offensive player. And you know what? Was good enough to play for Team Canada. I'm not going to let that die.
I was just going to say that
Yeah.
he's showing them.
Yeah. Well, he is.
Yeah.
He's still motivated. But that's just, he's just a good player. I mean, he can't tone it down right now. He's in a groove. He's playing good hockey.
Yeah.
And,
now is not the time to tone it down.
No, and he couldn't tone it down if he wanted to. He's
Yeah.
just a good player. Yep.
Hayden Fleury scored his first goal as a Winnipeg Jet on Sunday and his first since the 2022-20... Is this correct? This sounds terrible.
Well,
23 season.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that go into that, too. He was injured, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But here's the thing that I just find hilarious is last week, do you remember that thought I had?
Yeah.
I said,
Oh,
how can a guy that skates that well have a stat line of 0, 0 equals 0? Goose eggs. And then a week later, his stat line is 1-1 for 2 points.
Well, come on,
You know what?
Papa. There's some magic in your words.
I'm going to put something on here. I'm going to go, let's see. Where is it, Harley? I cannot find it. Here we go. Yes. Way to go, Mitch. Way to go, Mitch, and way to go, Hayden. You deserved that little cheer there. But yeah, it was nice to see. It was a good goal. We got and that was, I think it was yesterday afternoon. 2 points.
Right. I think you're right. Just
Who
in
knew?
time for this episode.
It looks it looks. I mean, it's not great. Let's not get carried away, but it looks a hell of a lot better than.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Eric Comrie has won his last 5 starts.
Yeah, we already went over that, and I figured I'd just throw it in there in case I didn't talk to him or talk about it earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, good for him. It's that's very, very important to kick in when needed. And yesterday was a tough one. He played good. That game was actually a shutout for the longest time. He made some big saves. Like it wasn't one. Do you remember that time I said that the goaltender from the ECHL team could have had that win?
Yes.
Not this case. That was Poulter.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Poulter was
Isaac.
called up. Poulter was called up to the Moose for a few games, and they had to
Nice.
send him back down.
Aw.
First name was Ian.
Isaac.
Isaac.
Isaac Poulter.
Yes, yes. And yeah, one of your schoolmates, and
Yep.
what's his name was here yesterday, Joel Hofer, one of your
Oh,
schoolmates. But yeah, this was a different situation. He earned this when he was full, and I'm talking full value. He was real good.
All
so
right.
give him his props.
Your man Thomas Milich had back-to-back shutouts for the Moose.
Yeah, I did mention
Come
that earlier.
on.
Yeah, but yesterday he was the 4-2 win. They go 40-something saves. Come on, man. Come on, man. He's won at every level. Do you remember? He was undrafted. He went through the draft, and the Jets drafted him this past draft, the second time too. But he's been doubted at every level. So he makes the WHL team in Seattle. I think they won the Western Canada League. I believe, well, I have to go back on this now. I believe he won the gold medal for Canada at the World Juniors when he wasn't expected to make that. Now he's up with the Moose and was probably looked at to be maybe the backup, or he and maybe DiVincenzo were going to fight for ice. They kind of do platoon. But I think right now the Milich is pretty well taken over the number one job there, and it's how long is it going to be before he's knocking on the door in the Jets to be the backup here?
Yeah.
So good for him. I like a guy that he's kind of like one of those success stories that you could do like a little movie on. But yeah, no, I like him, and he's playing well.
Nice. Way to go.
Yep.
Our last tidbit. 2028 World Cup announced with 8 teams. The round robin play will be in Prague and Calgary, and the semifinals and final will be in Edmonton.
Yeah, I had to throw that in there last minute
Come to
because
Canada.
Yeah,
Nice.
it was just announced at 1 o'clock this afternoon, and they're going to do 8 teams. They've only announced a few of them. You know, the obvious: U.S., Canada, Finland, Sweden,
I was gonna
Czechia.
say Finland, yeah.
So I'm going to say the other ones might be Denmark, maybe Slovakia, and Russia. Russia still hasn't had those sanctions lifted yet and everything, but I guess they're figuring that by then they'll be in. So it'll be good.
2028, yeah.
Yeah, they're going
Few
to. I
years
don't.
to go.
The thing that gets me here, where I'm not quite sure what they're going to do, is they're going to have a series. Like the first part of the series will be in Prague, the second part's in Calgary. Right? There's 4 teams. So who are the 4 teams going to be on the Canadian side? Are they going to throw like a Denmark in there, maybe a Slovakia, and on the other side you're going to have Russia, Sweden, Finland, whomever, Czechia, I guess. Well, Czechia is definitely going to be there because it's in their host city is Prague. So, and then I think what they're doing is they're playing a round robin. First team gets a bye. Fourth team is out. Second and third place teams play off. The winner of that and the first place team both come over to Canada,
Okay.
right? Then they play same thing. The 2 teams from the Calgary series, the 2 teams that win the Prague part, they play in that division round robin. It'll be the same thing. First place team, second and third, fourth place team is out, and those games will be in Edmonton. So there'll be a lot of expensive hockey.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I don't know why Hockey Canada, or it's not. I shouldn't blame Hockey Canada. It's not them. I don't know if it's the NHL in concert with the International Ice Hockey Federation or whatever set the prices. It's ridiculous. They just
I can only
gouge
imagine.
and gouge. Just make it like if you're in Calgary, they might start crapping on teams. Oh, look, it didn't sell out. Well, who's going to pay $400 for a game?
Oh my gosh.
And it's probably more than that. I'm not even. I just pulled 400 out of my ass on that one.
Yeah.
But who knows? It's overpriced. It's just terrible. But
Not in this
that's
economy.
another story. We'll let
Not in
that
this
go.
economy. Yeah.
We'll go on to our questions.
Yep, question segment time. Our first one's from Sparky. When it comes to Jets draft picks, does it appear that we have too many that aren't given an opportunity on the Jets as it's just that they are not ready, or does it have something to do with the development on the Moose? Is there many problems with the coaching level on the Moose?
Yes, and yes. And there's also a
All
couple
of the
other things
above.
to factor in.
What are they?
Well, here's the thing. Just because we draft these guys, that doesn't mean they're going to be good NHL players. Sure, they were good in junior. And like I've said about scouting, you can say what you want, but every level's a little tougher. And the Jets do have some good young players on the Moose. Brendan, like Yeager, starting to play a little better now, but he's a first-year pro. Colby Barlow was just 2 years ago in junior, he was really good. And his last year, he kind of dropped off a bit, and that's a little bit concerning. And his numbers aren't great right now with the Moose, but the Moose are a funny team. I don't know what Morrison's doing down there. I think he's playing. I don't know if he's playing to win or to develop. They're winning. They got decent record and they play decent defensive game. But yeah, I don't know what the story is. It's a combination of a lot of things. It's the coaching. It's the situations you put them in the minors. Are the young kids the top priority in developing, whether you win or lose? You don't want to put them in losing situations where they learn to lose, because I've seen that. I had some kids that that we had drafted with the Winterhawks, and when I was with Prince George, they got so used to, they knew their teams were bad, and I would tell them, don't worry about the scores of the games, just play your best. I said a good scout will notice if you can play, and they'll know if your team is crap, and they'll understand, right? But then I had one kid that got so used to losing, he'd go, oh, well, nobody, we're not going anywhere anyway, and I'm going to be playing here next year. So, yeah, I didn't like the attitude. And that's the thing. You don't want to groom your guys to accept and get used to losing. So it's a tough balance. But, yeah, it's all basically what it comes down to is how you evaluate the player before you draft them. And, let's be serious now. I mean, Central Scouting rank all the players. Each team ranks their own players. There's different websites and all kinds of different things that rank players, and there's a ton of information out there. So if one team gets it wrong, it means everybody got it wrong. So, and that happens too. So like nothing is for sure. I mean, when you take Connor Hellebuck in the 4th or 5th round, do you think he's going to be a MVP and Vezina Trophy? No, you don't. He's an afterthought. You're thinking he'd be lucky if he gets, a minor league career. So it works both ways. You get surprises and you get surprises. But yes, so that's it, Sparky. The question you asked, I'm thinking right now, I think it's fans too. I think there's nothing wrong. Back in the old days, a guy could play in the minors for 3-4 years before he came up. And I'll give you an example. The Montreal Canadiens were famous for that. But their team was so stacked, it was tough for young guys to break into their lineup. And they had to wait 3 or 4 years to get in. Like Guy Lafleur didn't just automatically become a star. Guys like Yvon Lambert played for the Nova Scotia Voyageurs for like 6 years. And they were projected to be NHL players, but it's, in the Jets case, there's room.
Yeah.
There's some teams, there's no room. So, let's use an example. Let's look at some of the defensemen. They've been roster blocked. You start moving some guys out in trades, and you don't re-sign some guys, and now there's a available spot. But to me, Chevy, he always gambles on the wrong side. We gamble on the chicken side. Like, wow, just in case he's not ready, let's sign DeMello for 4 years. Come on, guys. Start putting a little faith in your young guys, and let's get them into the lineup, a couple of years after they've been drafted, instead of here we go. I'm going to start talking about that same thing, over-ripen in the minors. We did that with Kovacevic. We did that with Chisholm. We did that with Sami Niku. We've done it again with Heinola. These are all guys that we had to put on waivers and other teams got for free. Yeah. And a couple of them, Kovacevic is still playing. Sami Niku bolted for Europe a long time ago. Declan Chisholm is still with Minnesota, I think. I don't know how much he's playing now, though, because when they got Quinn Hughes and a couple of those guys, he might have got bumped down the depth chart. But it's tough. The Jets aren't very good at getting their young guys in the lineup, especially when their team is not perfect, far from perfect. But that's because we roster block them. So that's that, Spark. Sorry, buddy.
On to Ben's question. Really like that Rosine kid. Fast and good skill set. You see him sliding into a rebuild of a second line for next season with Perfetti and whoever else, hopefully another legit top 6 from FA.
Well, and that's the problem right now. You look at the lines. Geez, I'll be honest with you. I'd rather see him playing with Taves and Nyquist than Lowry.
Yeah.
You'll look at Lowry and go, this is an NHL center. I mean, Patrick Laine bitched when he had Brian Little as his number 2 center. We killed for Brian Little. We lose a great player like that because, Scheifele emerged finally, took over the number 1 center spot. And then you get Brian Little, who bumps down to number 2. And Brian Little's a stud. He's a great player. But our good pal Nick Ehlers hit Little in the head during warm-up, and Little's never played. Again, he runs marathons now, or he's a triathlete now.
Oh.
Believe that. But yeah, there's a good player that we lost over a fluke puck hitting him. We've never replaced him. That's the thing. We're still trying. We've never replaced Brian Little.
Yeah.
We traded for Stastny. We traded for what's his name on Columbus. Now we had him here, but he didn't resign. He signed with Columbus, and we've given up first rounders. We just keep on giving away draft picks, and we've never lured a free agent here or traded for a second line center, and we still don't have one. I mean, we tried Taves, but I think that was a stretch. Even as you know me, as much as I like JT, I was kind of had him pegged in as maybe our number 3 center, and we've never replaced Little, and that's a lot of things. That's on Chevy. Yep. Go out there and fucking trade somebody. Trade one of your big time assets and get yourself the player you need. I know people say it's not that easy. It is easy if you overpay. Every once in a while, instead of struggling for 4 years and then missing the playoffs, just bite the bullet and make some team an offer they can't refuse. Overpay for a guy, solidify your position, and worry about the rest. As it turns out, half our draft picks never play here anyway, so they're just rotting on the vine. We could be using them as currency. Draft picks and minor league players, they hold their value the best in their first 2 years of being drafted. Then after that, the scouts start looking at him. Why isn't this guy playing? And they start picking him apart, right? If you got a lot of assets, use them like currency. Get what you need.
There you have it.
There you go. That was almost could have been. I stayed on the rails. I was very close to getting off.
On to our last one from Andy. What are the chances of bringing up Bauer? What's the chances of bringing up Bauer What's the chances of bringing Bauer, that defenseman from the Moose? They're bringing up everybody else.
Well, obviously, Andrew, my friend, you did not read my article today because I addressed that. But let's just answer the question. Yes, he will be called up. When and for how many games, I don't know. But I'll tell you right now, if he gets called up, if I'm him, maybe the first thing I don't do is fight. Maybe I'm there, maybe I'm there as he's not going to go looking for a fight, but I'm sure he's going to be there to answer the bell if somebody, taking liberties with one of our guys. He wants to show that he's that guy that'll be there. I want to see if he can play. I have a feeling that he can't be, this is a bad thing to say, but he can't be any worse than Shen. Although the thing is, Andrew, as much as I like Terrell Bauer because he will throw him, and I tell you right now, we know for a fact he'd be a fan favorite. I'm a big supporter and a big fan of Isaac Phillips. I want to see him here first. So I'm going to say, will we see him here? Yes, we will. Does he have a chance to stick? I'm going to say no, unless something goofy happens next year. And if we ever need some toughness to go on the road, I can maybe see him being called up. But I don't know. I'm going to say no. Well, no. We're going to see him called up this year for a couple of games for sure. Will he ever stick with this team? It's up to him. He's got to show he can play.
And also Milich.
Wow, come on. That's an unfair question to ask me. You know that Milich is my boy. I just I like everything about him. And this is nothing against Comrie. I've been pretty kind to Comrie today, but outside of free agency, I think that Thomas Milich will be. Well, you know what? Here's the thing. If you don't sign Comrie, because he's a free agent, right? And you don't sign Comrie, that tells him and it tells DiVincenzo's that they're in the hunt to fight for the backup next year, and Milich should win that based on his play this year. But what you do now and what you do next October is two different things. So you know what's going to happen. They're going to sign Comrie again, which is going to piss off a lot of people, especially Ben, especially me.
I'm over it.
Yeah, well, I think what comes, so is if he does what he did in these 5 games, I'll give him credit for one thing. There was that one game, the one game against Toronto where I was beside myself because he basically gave that. He took the puck and handed it right to the guy late in the game when it was 4-4. After that game, he went to Wade Flaherty, the goaltender coach, and he says, I got to change something. And I don't know if this had anything to do with it, but on his goalie mask, he changed his cage to a wire cage.
Interesting.
And he's been good ever since. So is he seeing the puck better?
Yeah.
Is he seeing the puck in his feet better?
Yeah.
Because that's what they say with those. You see the puck better down low.
Yeah.
I can't imagine having guys drifting shots at you 90 miles an hour with a cage in front of you. Like you can't help but see there's bars in front of your face. I don't know how goalies do it. It's amazing to me. But maybe it was a mental thing.
Maybe.
It could have been it. Who knows?
A
but
little placebo effect.
Yeah, exactly. Here, have a Tic Tac. It'll make you feel better.
Yeah, exactly.
But so that's that. But I'd like to see Milich challenge.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Maybe they go with maybe they trade Connor Hellebuck and somebody else for McDavid, and then they run with Milich and Comrie.
Milich is starting, Comrie is backup still.
And then McDavid's going to be on another good hockey team that has no goaltending.
Oh, gosh.
Jeez, he'll go I just lived this movie in Edmonton for the last 10 years with no goaltending. No thanks. I think I'll stay here. But yeah, just all kidding aside, things change in hockey, and the Jets like their core. Here's the thing. Hellebuck's here as long as he wants to be here. And you've heard me say this before about him. He may be delusional, but he really is a positive guy, and he thinks he can win here with this team. And as long as he thinks that, he's staying here. Now, he might go bug Chevy and say, let's get some D-men in here. Let's get some size. Let's get this. I don't even think he's that type of guy. I just think he goes about his business and when it's my turn to start, let me know. And he still probably end up playing the most games of any NHL starter this year. So, that's Harley for you. But comes a time where you're chasing that dream of a cup, and like I say, we're wasting Scheifele, a great year on Scheifele. We're wasting another year of Connor Hellebuck. At some point in time, you got to make a stand, and he might just say, you know what, and I think the Jets would do it. He's been a loyal guy. I think if he went up to Chevy or told his agent, maybe it's time to move on, keep it behind closed doors, and but as of right now, he's committed to the Jets, and he thinks they can win, and I like his positivity. I'll just say that.
It goes a long way.
Yeah.
Well, that wraps up this week's article and discussion. The season's slowly winding toward the finish line, and it'll be interesting to see which direction things go from here.
Yeah.
Thanks for following along with Winnipeg Hockey Talk. Feel free to... Yeah, we held you after a bit of over 8.
I cut it down from an hour and 20 minutes to an hour and 10, and I told Harley today we're going to be finished in 40, but a lot of times it's the questions. We were pretty well ready a while ago, but then once the boys start asking questions, of course, that's just another way for me
Gets you wound up again.
Well, I wouldn't say I was wound up, but I'd say I was talking. Anyway, next week, keep checking the mornings after Jet games. I've been updating, updating the odds things there. I have them in the YouTube shorts. And for those of you that are asking about Harley, I'm not going to bother her for a 48-second or I had one that was a minute and 20 soundbite. It's not worth bothering her for that. But maybe what I'll do is I'll just have her do one from her house one night. Yeah. She can go on there and do it if you want to see her so badly. It's my face, isn't it? You don't like it. Anyway, let's go. Let's go Jets go. Let's see what happens tomorrow night. Nashville, that's a big game. We can win that one. We catch up on them. So, that's basically what it's about, is anybody who's a bit ahead of you in the standings, you've got to beat them. And that's a team that we're trying to catch. Because remember I was saying, not only do you got to catch the wild card teams, you got to catch the teams in front of you too. So we kind of...
All depends on the teams.
Yeah, we've kind of pushed St. Louis down. We're catching up on Nashville. And we got to catch LA and probably Seattle. So a lot of work to do. It's going to be a tough road, but what the heck, we'll give it a try. Anyway, thanks for listening, people. And
catch you next time.
Sorry for keeping you up so late.
Join Harley and Mitch again next Monday night at 7 p.m. for another episode of Winnipeg Hockey Talks Random Thoughts on the Winnipeg Jets.